Cruz, I appreciate you picking me up from that stasis chamber last year, but that doesn't mean you get a pass today. So pick it up already. Come on, let's go. Jesus. Are you all right?
I think I broke something.
Well, tough shit, soldier. We've got movies to watch.
The only thing I can feel in my lips.
Then you have nothing to worry about. If you can speak, you can review.
Why?
Why? Because this is movie night. Hello and welcome to Movie Night, in-depth film reviews in 5 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jonathan Paula. Tonight we'll take a look at 3 brand new June releases, beginning with a film I already reviewed 2 weeks ago on the Archive channel, but tonight I'll integrate your audience comments and ratings. Here again are my thoughts on Edge of Tomorrow. This Doug Liman science fiction action film was released worldwide on May 30th, 2014, and stateside the following week. Produced on a budget of $178 million, the film was forecast to bring in at least $300 internationally, but it has the potential to do so much better. The incredibly versatile Tom Cruise stars a freshman soldier fighting a war against an invading alien army, who is forced to relive the same day over and over again every time he dies in battle. The picture borrows heavily from the repeating time loop concept made famous by the brilliant Groundhog Day, but puts its own unique spin on the concept, not the least of which is providing a quasi-believable sci-fi explanation for what's causing the temporal anomaly. Now in his 50s, Cruise is still as charismatic, charming, and athletic as ever, perfectly suited for the wide-ranging duties required of him in the mile-a-minute, 116-minute picture. I've seen over 25 of Tom's films, and with very few exceptions, this guy has never made a bad one. Indeed, this thrilling experience is no exception. On his repeating day from hell, Cruise encounters a wise-talking drill sergeant from Kentucky, wonderfully portrayed by the always capable Bill Paxton, a fierce and formidable soldier played by Emily Blunt with a delicate balance of feminism and strength, and Brendan Gleeson as an uncompromising general. Initially, Cruise is a frightened and inexperienced soldier, complaining to another private that he's not ready for battle. This character playfully replies, "I've never been with 2 girls before, but you can bet when that day comes, I'll be ready." With each death, Cruise learns more about his futuristic tech, his compatriots, and how to battle their alien enemies. Later, during a fast and entertaining training sequence, Blunt amusingly helps Cruise improve his skills by intentionally resetting time so he can start fresh. That is to say, she repeatedly shoots Tom in the head following a montage of fails and losses. It's this unexpected, morbid sense of humor that anchors the film from becoming too serious or preachy, infinitely strengthening it as a result.
Stop, wait. Stop, wait a second. Wait a second. Because I've been thinking. I mean, this thing's in my blood. So maybe there's some way I can transfer it to you.
I've tried everything, it doesn't work.
I mean, have you tried all the options?
Oh, you mean sex? Yeah, tried it.
How many times?
All right.
The PG-13 rated movie boasts some absolutely superb visual effects, especially with the alien adversaries. Never before has a creature been so frightening, yet simultaneously intriguing, their full reveal smartly saved until 30 minutes into the picture. Behind each gritty and vibrant frame is the brooding and appropriate sounds of Christoph Beck's powerful score, which revs in intensity during the thrilling action sequences, but remains emotional during the film's slower character moments. Despite the rather outlandish and absurd premise, the events on screen unfold with a fair amount of realism and believability. These are authentic characters exploring a very lived-in world. A combination of several different tropes and gimmicks we've seen before, the blended execution here is markedly better than the sum of its parts, resulting in a white-knuckle adventure that remains playful, thought-provoking, and an absolute blast to watch. While this movie doesn't reinvent anything, it is, without a doubt, one of the best science fiction action films in years, which, as you know, is my favorite genre. Sure, it has its share of flaws, but the magic of this picture is the sleight-of-hand tricks it employs to make you forget about all that. Distracting with jokes, explosions, and the overall spectacle, the few issues that do exist quickly fade from relevancy. A rare treat that is masterfully edited, this picture delivers a truly entertaining experience from the fascinating start to the suspenseful finish. I can't wait for a temporal reset so I can watch it again. Edge of Tomorrow, a smart premise with spectacular execution. Here's what you had to say about this sci-fi film in the YouTube comments. Edge of Tomorrow receives a 9 and a 10. Praising the unexpected but effective humor as well as the big budget action, you thought this film was awesome. Undoubtedly, my being a fan of sci-fi action with a twist of time travel and starring one of my favorite actors was bound to be a recipe for success. And although this movie is far from perfect, I have no answer to the question, why doesn't it deserve the highest score? I thought it was amazing, and I encourage you to go out and see it. For tonight's poll question, which movies are you most excited to see this summer? Leave your response as a comment below. Second up tonight, let's review The Fault in Our Stars. This Josh Boone romantic comedy drama film was released nationwide on June 6, 2014. To the surprise of no one in Nerdfighteria, it quadrupled its $12 million budget on opening weekend. Based on the best-selling book of the same name by, and I can't believe I'm saying this, my friend and fellow YouTuber John Green, the PG-13 rated narrative shares the story of two teenage cancer patients who begin a doomed but beautiful romance after meeting at a support group. The immensely talented and adorable Shailene Woodley continues her rise to prominence with one of the best performances I've seen all year, bringing a true depth and understanding to such a complicated but uplifting character. She opens the picture by unapologetically narrating, "This is the truth. Sorry." Equally incredible opposite is Ansel Elgort as her charming and handsome love interest, an impossibly well-spoken gentleman who sucks on unlit cigarettes to feel more in control of his health and fate.
Really? That is disgusting.
What?
What, do you think that that's cool or something? You just ruined this whole thing.
The whole thing?
Yes, this whole thing.
Oh, man.
Even though you had freaking cancer, you're willing to give money to a corporation for the chance to acquire even more cancer? Let me just tell you that not being able to breathe sucks.
Hazel Grace, they don't actually hurt you unless you light them. I never lit one. It's a metaphor, see? You put the thing that does the killing right between your teeth, but you never give it the power to kill you. A metaphor.
Although the actual dialogue between them feels a bit idealized, their relationship is a fundamentally sincere one, filled with all the authentic and awkward moments that embody adolescence. Contributing smaller roles, Laura Dern, Mike Birbiglia, Nat Wolff, and Willem Dafoe are integral to the plot with their excellent performances. Examining the cruel realities of life and death, the 125-minute narrative stays decently paced and unpredictable until the last moments, especially if you're not familiar with the source material. Although its tragic story will undoubtedly elicit many tears from most of the audience, the quirky script remains hopeful and light with the occasional well-placed joke or smile. A particularly amusing scene has Wolf egging the car of an ex-girlfriend who dumped him for losing his eyesight to cancer. It's this playful, immature response to serious situations that help alleviate the strong emotions of this picture that loom under every scene. The earnest and realistic relationship that plays out center stage is a sad and moving one, but never depressing or painful. This delicate mood is underlined by a minimal original score and some indie folk music from an array of performers, including Ed Sheeran, Birdie, and Ray LaMontagne. The slow and conventional cinematography carefully frames the actors and their environments, like a close-up of dinner leftovers subtly illustrating the personalities of Woodley and Elgort. Conveying a wonderful message about resilience and love conquering all, but accomplishing this without ever feeling too preachy or corny, this is a very enjoyable experience I wouldn't mind seeing again. The Fault in Our Stars, dignified portrayal of inspiring romance. Now let's go to the YouTube comments to read some of your reviews. The Fault in Our Stars scores a double 9 on the Rate-O-Matic. Calling it brilliant and heartwarming, you applauded its adaptation of the novel and rated it an awesome. A powerful and moving picture that examines the true depth and value many take for granted in their lives and relationships. I thought this film was awesome as well. A reminder now to check out the Movie Night Archive channel for an organized collection of all our reviews and to hear my thoughts on upcoming movies, including the new trailer for Dumb and Dumber 2, which I reviewed earlier this week. Finally tonight, my review for 22 Jump Street. This $50 million follow-up to 2012's big screen adaptation of the 1980s TV series was released worldwide on June 13, 2014, and will most likely earn back a healthy profit. Co-directors Phil Lord and Christopher Miller returned for this frenzied, self-aware comedy action film that, despite doing literally nothing different from its predecessor, remains equally as entertaining. Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum return as two bumbling cops, this time sent undercover to college to track down the origin of a new synthetic drug. The two exhibit absolutely perfect chemistry together, bouncing off each other's improvisation and physical mannerisms seamlessly.
What are you doing? Huh? I got a new identity that's gonna be killer. I'm gonna be throwing it to you to make it legit.
Okay.
I'm gonna need you to improvise.
I suck at improvising. I don't want to do it.
I need absolute silence while I fall in the character.
Man, maybe.
I need absolute silence while I fall in the character.
Can you give me like a head start on
I need
the
absolute silence. I need absolute silence.
Can you please
I need
just tell me-
absolute silence.
The supporting cast includes the always capable but often typecast Peter Stormare, quick return appearances for the obnoxious Rob Riggle, Dave Franco, and Nick Offerman, along with decent performances from lesser-known talent like Amber Stevens, Gillian Bell, and Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell. The standout character, however, is definitely Ice Cube, who returns in a much larger capacity as the loud and unforgiving police captain, who delivers one of the movie's funniest moments when he totally flips his shit. Later, when he threatens the criminals by shouting, "We Jump Street, and we bout to jump in your ass," you're not sure if you should laugh or cower. Attempting to maintain his cover and impress a female friend, when Hill's slam poetry session devolves into Scatman, I couldn't help but break down in laughter. The R-rated comedy is heavy on cuss words, dick jokes, and pratfalls, but it does so with a tight script and clever writing, even if references to Maya Angelou and Tracy Morgan were poorly timed. Littered with wonderful callbacks to the first film, including a running gag poking fun at the two pictures' remarkably similar plots, the movie is one of the rare comedy sequels that maintains the freshness of the franchise without alienating the style that made it work so effectively. Speaking of style, the quick and lively editing remains flashy and entertaining, making great use of split screens, montages, and the film's pop-oriented soundtrack. Although a touch long at 112 minutes, the film finishes strong with a terrifically inspired credit sequence that quickly and playfully lists off the next 20 potential gimmicky sequels for the franchise, from 23 Jump Street Medical School to 41 Jump Street Dance Academy. As shallow fluff, this picture would still be amusing and enjoyable, but thanks to deeper emotional moments provided by Hill and Tatum's bromance, the film has a heart as well. A fantastic sequel that should provide laughs for years to come, 22 Jump Street is brilliant satire with ridiculous characters. Sans audience scores for this one, I'll give 22 Jump Street an 8. A brazen and unapologetic comedy that is every bit as entertaining as its predecessor. I definitely enjoyed this one. I thought it was great. Finally tonight, a look at other films currently playing in theaters with some of your tweet critiques. If you see a new movie in theaters, tweet your review with the JPMN hashtag. Next week will be the last episode of the season before Movie Night takes its annual summer hiatus, but we're going out in style by reviewing 5 more of the worst movies ever made. Ed Wood's infamous Plan 9 from Outer Space, the Garbage Pail Kids movie from 1987, The Room, Paris Hilton's The Haughty and the Naughty, and a more recent comedy disaster, Movie 43. Once you've seen these films, share your opinions by voting in the polls below or by leaving a comment review. If you'd like to watch more Movie Night reviews, check out the related videos on the right or click subscribe to be notified of all new content. Also, be sure to follow me on social media for updates between episodes. Once again, my name is Jonathan Paula. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time, have a good movie night.